Hey everybody, we're here Facebook Live with some Shadowhunters. We've got Alberto Rosende and Dominic Sherwood.
I'm no Shadowhunter.
I'm not a Shadowhunter.
Well, he's not a Shadowhunter. From the TV show Shadowhunters on Freeform. Season 2 starts January 2nd, so mark your calendars now. And you guys are coming off a big Comic-Con weekend.
Oh yeah.
And I want to know, because I was here last year when fans were already going crazy before anything had even been shown. How was this year for you guys, now that the first season's aired and people have just embraced you and the show? How was it?
It was heavy.
Yeah, this year was heavy. But for me, we were talking about this earlier. I think we had not a more enjoyable time. Just we knew what Comic-Con was to expect, and then that with the support of our fans, and we saw it again this year. I mean, this year was just as crazy, if not even crazier. Our panel was huge. It was in a theater this time instead of
it was like a good 1,000 people.
Yeah, it was huge. So it was a really awesome experience.
Yeah, it was
a lot of fun.
Okay, what was the #1 question fans were asking you, either the signing or just as they stopped you? What
they asked us a lot about like what can we expect in season 2?
What's the biggest thing we can find out?
Up in season 2, and we were like, we can't tell you.
Because I think they know that. I think they know that we kind of we went off the path of the books a little bit last season, but they know that this season we're probably going to take that even farther, go even farther. So they really want to try to get their head around what's going to be happening.
We did, especially a lot of the book fans, they feel like they know the story, and based on season 1, as Alberto was saying, based on season 1, they're realizing that actually they don't know this story as well as maybe they thought, so they're trying to get kind of insider tips, and I'm like, well, Jace dies. No, I'm kidding.
Jace does not die.
Yeah, Jace does not die. I hope not, man. I got a contract.
Every time they ask me, I'm like, honestly, I've only read the script we're currently working on. I don't know anything else ahead of us.
We don't know anything past episode 6.
So we're just like them. We're very much curious to know, like, hey, what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. If you guys are just joining us, I'm Jim Halterman, the West Coast Bureau Chief for TV Guide Magazine. I'm here with Alberto Rosende and Dominic Sherwood from Shadowhunters. So we want questions from you guys, so make sure to start typing your questions. They'll show up for us, and we can start answering them. But first, I want to know, where are you guys at in shooting season 2? Because I know you've already been busy up in Toronto.
Episode 6. We just started episode.
We just started.
Yeah, we just started
2 or 3 days into
episode 6. 2 or 3 days, so I have to go back and. Do you work on Tuesday?
I work on Tuesday.
Yeah, so we're back in on Tuesday because it's a Canadian holiday.
Oh right, right.
So yeah, we've got today off.
Okay, no spoilers, but what has surprised you so far in season 2, either about your character or just the story?
There's a lot that has surprised me.
Dom is very much. You can't really go outside of
There's nothing more I can say than that. But there's a lot. Jace, from my point of view, especially because of the way we left season 1, Jace is on his own. He's with Valentine. We pick up immediately in season 2 with that same storyline with an hour or 2 having passed, so nothing's changed. It's not like we're doing a time jump. And Jace gets a lot of information. He gets put in a really bad place, and he falls down that rabbit hole a little farther before he comes out of it.
Okay.
One of the things about Simon that I really appreciate is he's always in a constant state of growth. He's always in a place where he has to learn a lot to keep going forward.
We're kind of opposites, you and I.
This
season, huh?
This season,
Simon's building and he's doing really well. He's like, hey, I'm
starting to discover himself,
being a vampire and stuff like that. And Jace is just like, step. But it's going to get nope step. But maybe this time nope step.
No, and it just keeps the rabbit hole. It's just happening.
Dirtying my fluffy white tail.
But then as far as the story goes, we can just say we're very excited the way it's moving.
Yeah.
The way it's moving forward, the way we're learning more about each individual character. Everyone's really starting to round out, get really developed, and it's making such a rich.
It's definitely a lot thicker in individual storylines. Like the love triangles are starting to get a little more involved, and as we
new
saw
characters
again,
are being introduced that might disrupt those triangles.
Yeah, we're allowed to say Maya.
We can say Maya.
I've heard to be kind of ready for Maya.
Maya's
ready for Maya, and the lady we cast as Maya, Alicia Wainwright, is just fantastic.
We've both gotten to work with her now.
We have, her first day was a lot of Jace Maya stuff, which is in fact, as you guys saw in the teaser, there's you see the kind of the Hunter's Moon, the beginning of what happens in book 2, the kind of first couple of pages of book 2. You start to see that kind of thing happening, and Alicia's really wonderful, and we're very lucky to have her.
Okay, we do have somebody who wrote in and wants to know if there are more emotional scenes in season 2. Would you say it's more emotional than season 1?
Yeah. Yes.
Much, yeah.
Hands down. Well, I think naturally our story lends itself to that, because right in the beginning of season 1 we had nowhere to go. We were learning about these people in this world, and now that we're connected to these people, we're connected to this world, and we know the stakes that this world is in. This crazy tyrant is trying to come back. We kind of know that naturally the stakes are higher.
Yeah, as Alberto says, like, we understand these people now, and it's not so much of an expositional season where we're trying to explain to an audience, this is what a vampire is or a werewolf is, and this is how you kill them, and this is how they have to survive, and blah blah blah. It's not so much that anymore because people know that. So we're in a place where the emotions are going to run this story much more heavily because we know the characters well enough that we can understand and empathise with the choices they make based on the situations they're in. And we're doing that a lot more. Again, like, I can only really speak from my point of view because I'm so separate from the rest of the cast, especially at the beginning. But yeah, Jace's emotions are really pushed to their limit in episodes 1 through
easy ride at all.
episode 1 through 6.
It
doesn't get better yet.
Okay, so I'm Jim Halterman. I'm the West Coast Bureau Chief for TV Guide Magazine. We're here with Alberto and Dominic from Shadowhunters.
Hi.
Thank you for sending in questions. We're starting to get a lot of them. We want to know, what can you tease about Hunter's Moon? You guys even talk about that?
Yes.
We can, yeah. I mean, I think there's...
We can say book fans should be very excited. It's amazing the way they brought it to life.
Okay.
There's some stuff in the teaser and the sizzle reel of Hunter's Moon that you can see, and you're aware of it being the Hunter's Moon. I actually think it's on the glass. I think the Hunter's Moon symbol is on the glass.
Cassandra Clare, the author, when she was on set, she took a picture and shared it on Twitter of like the Hunter's Moon sign, which is really cool.
Yeah, and the set's pretty amazing. The Hunter's Moon's it's very cool. It's actually a really cool New York bar.
Yeah, I want to go there. Cool. Like, we kind of wish that on Fridays they would open it up after we all get off.
Yeah. All the alcohol's fake. We tried. There were 1,000 bottles, and we're like, one of them, surely.
Yeah, they have like one gift, right?
Yeah.
Now, one thing that came out of the Comic-Con panel was some guy is directing. Who is this guy who's going to direct an episode?
Paul Wesley.
Paul
Wesley's going to be directing. It's really exciting. I did a movie with Phoebe Tonkin, and I met Paul via that a couple of years ago. And he's such a nice guy, and he's so talented, and he's so enthusiastic, and he's really excited about being a part of this, and we're so excited to have him, so that's great. We're really looking forward to it.
He's coming from a world similar to ours.
Yeah, he understands our rules, and it's young adult what he's on as well, so he understands the kind of legitimacies of making a project within that environment, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, he's directed on the Vampire Diaries, so I think he'll bring maybe part of that world into this one, who knows?
I'm excited to see it.
It would be fun to see the worlds kind of coexist.
I think we should put him in he should be in a couple of the shots, definitely. Maybe he should be one of the background Shadowhunters in the initiative. Why should he be a vampire?
I like that.
We don't have enough vampires. We don't.
Well, I want to know, because somebody else just wrote in a question. Thank you, keep them coming. Since vampires and Shadowhunters don't get along so well, is Simon going to get along with them a little bit better since he does have a connection to a lot of them?
I think Simon's going to understand Shadowhunters differently this season. The first season, it was Clary and these people that she was a part of, and he was very much removed from them. But now that he's getting more invested in the world, more invested as a downworlder, he's starting to understand them. But his relation doesn't get better with them. Especially with this new guy coming into the Institute that we've talked about, Victor Aldertree, who's a representative of the Clave. Yeah. And if you know, the Clave is not very cool with downworlders, so...
And it's getting worse.
It's getting worse, so Simon is kind of seeing... It's interesting, because he sees it from someone that's removed, but also right in the middle of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
so that's actually where Jace and Simon are very similar in this point. That they're very kind of alone. They don't have a place in the world. Like very, very alone. Yeah. Like you think about the different groups that you've been a part of, and kind of all of them have been like, nope. You know what I mean? And Jace is in a similar place right now, where everywhere he wants to be is alienating him and isolating him, except for Valentine, who's like, come to Dad.
Yeah, stay here.
But we're seeing Jace beaten up pretty much in the trailer.
Is that
dear old dad who's like, yeah, you need a little talking to?
I can't say.
Oh, you can't say?
I unfortunately can't say. I'm not allowed to. I wish.
Okay. Well, can you talk at all? We know Jace eventually will rejoin everybody somewhere along the way.
How'd you know that?
I mean, I'm just saying eventually.
It remains to be seen.
But so in the teaser, you see Jace and Clary jumping off the side of the boat, and that's all that I can tease. I can't say that we don't end up back with Valentine. I can't say that we end up free and clear. All I can say is that we get wet.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
I'm not even going to try because I don't want to say anything I can't say.
Right,
That was very well put.
Yeah.
So I'm Jim Halterman, the West Coast Bureau Chief for TV Guide Magazine. I'm here with...
Alberto Rosende. Sorry.
Dominic Sherwood.
I know.
I was going to say Dom Sherwood, but then I
just threw that to you guys kind of quickly.
It's okay.
So we have another question. Any unexpected alliances that we'll see in the new season? People maybe haven't seen together. Talk about that as much as you can.
Well, with Simon, he has no place at home. He has no place at the Institute. Werewolves hate vampires, so he can't hang out with Luke all the time. So Simon has to find new alliances to help him get through this world, and he does that.
Oh yeah, that's a very cool one. I like that.
Magnus kind of sees Simon as this lost vampire, and Magnus has a history with that. So he kind of is like.
Yeah, well, that's interesting too. Is that we get to, as we were saying earlier, we get to look into kind of these backstories of these characters and like what Jace's was covered fairly heavily in season 1. What made him who he is, and his family drama and why he makes the choices he does. And we get to look into that with some of the other characters as well, which is very cool. We get to look into the origins of Parabatai and why Magnus is the way he is and the way he discovers people. I mean, episode 3 so far is my absolute favourite episode that we've done in season 1 or season 2.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's really, really great.
Did you like episode 3? Was it Joe?
It was Greg.
Greg. Okay.
Yeah, it was Greg. Greg Smith was episode 3, and it's amazing. It's a very Jason Alec heavy episode, so it's more personally for me. I really enjoy it, but yeah, I'm looking forward for people to see that.
Okay, everybody watching, keep those questions coming in. They've been great so far. We'll talk about Alec a little bit because Alec obviously is on his own journey, whether it's with Magnus, or also I know he's going to be on his own journey as well. Can you talk about Jace and Alec's relationship in the new season?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, as much as I can tease is sort of already what I just said. We do get to look into the history of Jace and Alec's relationship, which is it's all in episode 3, and it's really cool. It's really, really interesting, and it's an evolution of what Parabatai is and the understanding of this brothers-in-arms bond, and it really makes it clearer than it did in season 1 how important it is, and the stakes that are at risk by the two of them being apart. And we get to look into that more heavily, which I'm looking forward for people to see. Like I cried when I read the script for episode 3.
Yeah.
That ending.
It's just so.
It's raw.
It's raw and it's just beautiful, and I think it speaks to a lot of like the virtues that Shadowhunters hold close to themselves.
It actually humanizes Shadowhunters quite a bit, because we see them these cold, kind of stoic, very straight to business people, when actually they do have emotions that in many ways run deeper than human beings, because they are forced to suppress them, but they have these connections. Yeah.
Okay, for this history with Alec, do we see flashbacks? Is it like little 10-year-old versions of?
Can't say.
You guys?
Are we allowed to say?
Yeah, we can say we do see the first time Jason and Alec meet.
Oh, there you go. Yes,
so
we do see that. There you go. We are allowed to see. We're allowed to show we are showing flashbacks, and we see when they first meet each other.
Okay, I want to know pranks. Who's the one to always watch out for?
That's actually like the second biggest question we have. This season, like I think all of us are equally pranksters. We all just like to pretend that only Dom is.
Yeah,
because then it's easy to blame the pranks on Dom. So it's like, who pranked me? Probably Dom.
Yeah.
It was me.
But this year I feel like we should have this.
There you go.
I feel like this year I've not been able to explore my pranking abilities because I've been separate.
Busy.
I've been away from you guys, and you can't prank Alan because he's a frightening human being.
No, you don't want to prank. You want to
prank the bad guy. That's mental. So I've not been able to do it as much as I would like. But
I think also in the show we're just in a place where no one's had the desire to do that yet.
It's true.
It's all been very heavy. It's all been. We're all not very much business in the sense that it's focused, but it's like no, we want to do well. Season 2, we're happy with.
It's
more focused. It's definitely more focused. Yeah.
Okay. I know during the panel yesterday, a lot of people were talking about the girls' training, but you guys, I'm sure, are doing a lot of training yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about just upping the game in season 2 as far as the training and what we'll see as far as the action.
I mean, it's heavy. Like
Dom and I had a whole period of 6 weeks before we even started shooting that we were in the gym 6 days a week.
Yeah. And then that had to slow down when we started filming because we were obviously on set, so we couldn't do that. But yeah, we have a new stunt team in, and yeah, what you saw is Izzy and Clary training. But yeah, that's what we do with our stunt guys. That scene, that's what we do with our stunt guys. That's how we train. Every free moment we have, we're in the stunt room with them, trying to get better and trying to evolve. And the team that we have at the moment, headed by Darren Maguire, is just amazing. Darren's the standing world taekwondo
I keep
champion.
hearing his name.
Darren Maguire,
He's probably one of the coolest dudes you will ever meet.
Okay.
One of the most down-to-earth, amazing, professional,
talented.
We can't say enough good things about him because he's taken our show to like the next level, and he's put such care into each character, the way each character moves, the way each character fights.
And we have they're big this year. I have three big fight scenes in episode 1. And the scene you saw where Jace is chained up and getting beaten on, and they were all choreographed by Darren, and they're all flawless and perfect, and
Jace is like a full-on superhero this season because of these fights. It's so cool.
Because of the way Darren has made us,
Okay. We have an audience question. You guys keep the questions coming in. They've been great so far. Have you guys heard the show like dubbed in other languages at all?
I've heard it in Spanish.
You've heard it in Spanish.
Yeah, I love my voice in Spanish.
Emerald has as
way
well.
better than mine.
Hello. So we've got hellos from Norway, Brazil, UK, Greece, Italy, Germany. Hi guys. Hello
guys.
everyone.
How are you?
Especially the UK. We love you. We love you the most.
You guys all send in questions. We want to hear what you have to ask these guys while we have them here. We talked a little bit on the panel yesterday about Sizzy. Of course, everybody's dying for Sizzy, including Emerald. I think she even said,
she's dying.
Dying for Sizzy.
Yeah, she is.
She's
always ready to
she's
hop
always
up
ready
and
for
throw
Sizzy.
her arm around.
I know. But so
we know
is there any other romantic connection maybe for Simon, since Izzy's not happy?
Stop. Simon has all of the romantic connections.
Well, I think let's just speak to this. Simon's a good dude. Good dudes.
Yeah.
Like if you're a good dude, you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
But also Simon's just in a place where Clary's very much in a whole whirlwind with everything going on with Jace, and he's trying to be there for him. Like he's trying to be there as best he can in a place in the Institute, which kind of has kicked him out. Izzy's going on her own journey, very much with the Shadowhunters, and her and Simon don't really get to see each other. So this is on the panel. I said it was one of those things where this is the time where they're apart and they're growing, so that when they do come back, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
But Simon does meet someone that kind of he meets Maya, which is the first person he kind of has that feeling with that he only really has with Clary. That first like connection, that first
spark.
First spark. That's the best way to put it. Like a real spark.
I like it. So you guys have been playing the character 2 years now, basically, from the time you started.
2 years. Yeah, that's crazy.
What's a favorite thing about your character, and maybe what's something about your character you would love to have personally as a trait that maybe you don't, or loaded question there.
Yeah, that's really tough. Is there anything of Jace's that I would like? I mean, the ability to draw a rune to give me a special power would be very cool.
Awesome.
Would be very cool. But a lot of his past and his experiences I wouldn't like so much. I don't like any of those really.
No, I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
How about Simon outside the vampire side of things? What other qualities of him do you connect with or like? And
I don't know. I like to think I'm an extremely optimistic person, and I think I am. But Simon, something about he's such a fighter, and I think there are times in where I would have either given up or tried something different. Where Simon keeps his head to, his nose to the grindstone, keeps going forward.
Yeah.
That I really
especially when he's such. I think I see Simon as such a kind of ray of sunshine which is ironic. But it's such a ray of sunshine in this world. In that even when choices are made for him, like when you became a vampire, you would roll with those punches. Yeah, you're like, okay, well it sucks for an episode, and then you're like, well, this is where I'm at, so I'm gonna do this.
His ability to move on too, which I think is something that I'm trying to work on. It's like people hold on to things, and he's someone that hold on to how they made him feel, but he'll never punish someone for it. He's like, all right, that happened. And I wish I could take that to mind. I think that's something very beneficial.
Have you guys had a chance to talk to Cassie? I know she's on set a lot.
Yeah.
She was on set last week.
Just talk to her about your characters and some of the stories. Have you had to just really grill her on stuff?
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because again, the same as we were saying earlier, we are starting to kind of stray from the books a little more because we want to keep it interesting and fresh. And we started doing it at the end of last year, where the characters are the same. They're grounded within the books, the way they're portrayed and choices they would make, but the situations they go through are different. So the way they react will be as those characters, but within different situations. So I think the more we speak to her, she comes to us.
How'd you guys do this? How does this happen? Oh, that's cool. And she'll be interested, or then sometimes she's seen things that we haven't seen. So I
think what people seem to be surprised with is much more of a dialogue with us and Cassie now than it is us asking her advice so much. Like it's much more of a dialogue or a conversation between us. That she, as you said, she'll approach us and like, how did you do this? And we did this, and we'll say, what did you think about that? And like, yeah, cool. I always saw it as kind of this, and I'm like, oh, I never thought about that. Yeah, okay, cool. I like that. Yeah, I like that idea. And then they all kind of melting pot into one, and we all come together as one thing.
This can be a yes or no answer, but are we seeing anything with Daylighters in season 2?
Are we only allowed to say yes or no? Because I feel like that's not fair.
Okay, say what you want to say.
We don't know. We've heard like a whole spectrum of rumors about what's going to happen throughout the season.
No one's come to me saying, "Hey, Alberto, prepare for this." I know that I've heard the idea floated, but then again, I've heard so many other things that didn't happen.
we hear like
they're really keeping us in the dark as well.
I feel like they're throwing us red herrings every now and then as well.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, get ready for this with Jace, and then like the episode comes around, like that didn't happen.
And we're like, oh, we went the opposite way there.
Yeah.
We're only on episode 6 filming, so who knows what they're going to throw at you.
We've got 14 more episodes.
Yeah. Okay, last question, then we're going to wrap it up.
Great.
Okay.
Describe season 2 in one word. Go.
Don't take my word.
Go.
Exciting.
I was gonna say intense.
Ah, man, intense. So
Exciting. We'll take it. You guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
January 2nd on Freeform, second season of Shadowhunters. You guys are gonna love what you're coming.
So it's like the 4th.
You guys, thank you so much for being
Thank you
here.
very much for
It was a
having me.
pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.